Hey, everybody. Welcome to Chester Masterminds. This is episode 12, and we are excited. This is one of the best shows that I think we've ever had the chance to do. We are here with a bunch of student entrepreneurs here right out of Chester. All of them have been doing some amazing things, and it's my great pleasure to introduce them and hear their stories and hear how they became entrepreneurs and what their vision is for being an entrepreneur in the future. So thank you all. And also I want to start off because they're all affiliated with the Make a Change group here in Chester. And I want to introduce one gentleman right now from Make a Change who can talk a little bit about the program that a lot of these students are involved in. And so, George.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, introduce yourself, let us know.
Yes, good evening, everybody. My name is George. I'm with Making a Change Group. I'm a mentor, proud of these guys. We have a workshop that we've been doing for like a couple months now, just about life skills, getting to know each other, with today's events, everything, current events. And it's been a pleasure to be around these guys, to grow with these people, and it's just like, wow. So it's been a nice journey.
How long has the program been running?
We had the program up since November, I believe.
Okay.
And that's when it started, like growing, and then we put it together and we launched it in the winter.
Okay, cool. And about how many students are involved in it now?
It's like about 10 to 12 students per session. It's 2 sessions per age group.
That's a lot. That is a big number. That's a lot. There's a lot of entrepreneurism going on in the community. That's really great to see. And so, where is the program? You've only been doing it for maybe 6 months or a little more, but where's it going?
Well, I mean, it started out with just just being as though it was Zoom and it was doing a lot of stuff with COVID. It was to give the kids an outlet.
Right.
It wasn't trying to be like a school setting or a school segment. It was just based on life skills where they'll be able to just get their feelings out about certain things and kind of let their hair down a little bit.
Right.
And then it just ended up into some serious conversations.
Good.
And this just really just happened to be one of them. I'm big on like kids' business and entrepreneurship in the young minds. So,
how did you catch that bug?
I just came up with a concept called Kids Business. And it really triggered me when Sabraya told me that she sold T-shirts. And then it was just really bigger than T-shirts because she was selling phone cases, and it was already like an operation. And I was like, wow. So it was just like she kind of triggered that into the next segment and next theory of like bringing out entrepreneurship in our young youth.
And what are some of the things that you talk about in your sessions or your training? What are some of the lessons that you guys cover?
Well, I mean, we've been talking about things that's been going on, starting with the George Floyd. I mean, everything that's been going on like in the world. We wasn't just want to sugarcoat certain things that's going on in the world and in the media. Yeah. We wanted that real opinion about things. Right. And we was big on self-esteem. So, I just think a lot of problem with the youth today is that is a lot of followers. Right. So we want to bring out leadership. So that's kind of what we kind of promote. And these like 3 leaders here, they stood out despite whatever's going on. And all the adversity with COVID and all the transitioning from real school to homeschool was just like a big thing. Because these guys overcame a lot of adversity.
Well, it certainly sounds like I've gotten very little information yet, but I'm really excited to hear about what you all are doing. You clearly have turned some lemons into lemonade in the last year because it's been rough. But who'd like to go first? Sabraya, you want to go? Yeah. So tell us real quick your name and tell us a little bit about your business.
My name's Sabraya, and my business is I do custom stuff, like custom phone cases, pop sockets, keychains, T-shirts. Right. Yeah, a lot of stuff. And my T-shirts bring awareness to stuff, so they all have meanings behind them. So my no shooting shirt is because people have been killing our youth recently, especially in Chester. There's like Chester is huge on gun violence.
I know, it's a shame, and
Yeah.
and P here is really big in helping to bring an end to that. So you're in the right spot to help get to know P, Uncle P. He's really working hard on that. But I know you've got a really powerful T-shirt, and I think we have an image of that we're running on right on the video right now. So that's great, so people can see that. So how'd you come up with that idea? I mean, other than the news and things, what made you decide to be a T-shirt and the words that you chose to use?
Mainly my mom and me just like sat down and we just like, she was talking about you should make shirts to raise awareness for Chester because that's the city that I live in. So we were like, yeah, let's do it. So we looked up designs and stuff, and we just like made it our own basically. So
So you did this design yourself on a computer or something like that?
yeah. So then we just put it on a shirt. We put it on Facebook, and it just started getting shares and shares. And the Matt group really helped me with that.
Oh, that's
they started
great.
sharing it, and it got like over 200 shares on it.
Wow. How many shirts have you sold? Do you know?
Over 100.
Over 100.
Wow.
That's really great. And do you do everything out of your home right now, or
Yeah.
you haven't had to expand? You're not having to expand into a factory or anything yet, right? So you had to figure out where you're going to get your shirts and who's going to print them. Tell us a little bit about that. I mean, about figuring that out.
So my shirts have to be a specific type of shirt. It's polyester.
Okay.
So I have to get them at a craft store, and I use like a heat press
Right.
to put the designs on the shirts, and like everything I do, I use the heat press and the printer.
Oh, so you do it all yourself. You don't having to go to a T-shirt
No.
place or anything. That's great. That's great. How did you learn how to do that?
My mom does it.
Your mom does it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So she basically just taught me.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. Absolutely, that's great. I love it because that is so much about what we're doing here in Chester Masterminds is building that network and pointing to people. That's like, hey, starting a business is hard, and the more help you have, whether it be some adults in like Make a Change or your parents or family friends who are doing all these things, realize that there's a lot of knowledge out there to be gained, and it's great that your mom is sharing all that knowledge with you. That's wonderful. That's exactly what I want to promote here on this program. Is exactly what's going on. So what's your next product? What kind of other products are you thinking about doing?
I'm probably thinking about doing like probably like more T-shirts, but like with different meanings.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to raise awareness not just to gun violence, but maybe like to women abuse,
Mm-hmm.
like
Right.
stuff like that.
Right. Well, good for you. Good for more power to you. I mean, we got to raise awareness on all those issues. Absolutely, and that's wonderful. There's one other question. Well, I'll come back to it, but that's wonderful. I mean, so I guess the real question is, how does this tie? So I'm thinking about your career now. So I'm going a little bit further out. Are you thinking at all about what you want to do through your education or other things because of what you've learned as an entrepreneur? Is it affected the way that you're thinking? Like, okay, I really like doing this, and so I want to go into business, or I want to go into some other kind of product development or something like that. Is it what do you have? Have you picked a college career or any kind of job you'd like to do?
When I get older, I really want to be a business owner.
Yeah,
Like, that's like the big thing that I
Right.
want to do. I just don't know like what business I want it to be because
Right.
I'm always like changing my mind.
Well, you're not alone. I think there's a lot of entrepreneurs who probably would be in the same boat, and that's okay. So the best thing about it is that you're all starting young. You get to try things. You get to learn about money. You get to learn about things. Oh, I know what I want is, what else are you doing to market? You said you're doing Facebook. What are there any other things? Hey, ma'am, another visitor. What else do you do to market your products?
TikTok is really big.
Oh, okay.
TikTok, you could get big off of TikTok.
Is that right? Okay, it's good to know.
I don't know.
I'd certainly love this show to get big. Maybe I'll have to hire you to do my TikTok for me, so I get it right. But that's wonderful. Thanks for sharing all that. So so let's move on here. And so, ma'am, are you here to participate as well?
Yes.
Oh, is she? All right. Well, so
Dr. Scott,
you can come stand next to Lamage and.
she can have my seat.
Well, okay, whichever you
Yeah,
like.
you can sit right here. I'll just stand over in the back.
Welcome. It's great. The more the merrier. The more the merrier. It's always good to see these these bright faces that are doing this stuff. So Caitlin, we'll do you next. Tell me a little bit about your business and how you became an entrepreneur.
My business is called Caitlin's Babysitting Service, CBS for short. It is basically me babysitting a whole bunch of kids because I love kids. I think they're so sweet and interactive. And, yeah.
So how long you been doing it?
Not too long, but also not too short. Maybe like a couple months.
Right. Okay. Well, did you? So I'm aware of sometimes they do training for babysitters. Have you had any training for being a babysitter?
I'm doing Red Cross next month.
Wonderful.
And I'm going to learn about CPR and basically get a certificate for babysitting.
Wow, I'm so thrilled to hear that because that is what a lot of parents will want to know. That'll differentiate you and set you apart from just the ordinary babysitter. But you've got some real training and other things. You said you've only been doing this a couple months. How many different customers do you have? I mean, do you have a sort of a standing list of clientele at this point?
Not a standing list, but I have had babysitting experience. I babysit my family and basically friends of my family.
Mm-hmm.
So I have had a lot of experience, and I have thought about it a lot, and it is definitely something I want to do in the long run.
Oh, good. How have you let people know, that you're in business? It's CBS, right? So, how do you let people know about CBS?
Well, I do have family, and they definitely spread the word, so they've been a big help. And a lot of social media, because social media have grown since a really long time.
Yeah, it has. Do you use Facebook or TikTok or Instagram which one's your favorite?
TikTok.
TikTok too. Okay, that's great. Yeah, and so babysitting, you can do an awful lot with a skill. Are you thinking about sort of being a teacher or an educator of some kind, or a child care professional, or is that sort of in the background? How did you decide that you like babysitting?
I mainly decided that I like babysitting because of my cousin. She's like 3, I think, and she is so sweet, and I thought that I could take care of a lot of other sweet children just like her. And as well as my sister and her friends and just a lot of people that I've met. They've all been so kind and definitely so helpful. So I thought maybe I can take care of a lot of other kids who are just like them.
Great. So, and I probably should have asked Soraya as well, but taking care of money, handling money. Do you have a little bit of a bank account yet? Have you? Well, okay, that's great. So, Caitlin, you've got a little bit of a bank account now?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. I'd love to hear that because that really gives you some exposure of what a bank works. And that's right. So, Brian, it's the same thing? You've got a bank account now?
Yeah, I have a business bank account.
That's great. I mean, I love hearing this. Is these are the things that every business, no matter whether you're starting at where you are or you could be Boeing, where I used to work. Everybody's got to have a bank account, and you got to know how banks work, and you got to know how to move money around and that sort of thing. And you're getting exposure to that at a great age, where you can take advantage of the learning that you have, and it's going to be amazing. So, and Caitlin, has anybody approached you and says, "Hey, how do you start a business?"
A lot of my friends have, they have definitely taken an interest in it, and they are also very supportive. They have, like, anything I tell them that I'm going to do or I want to do, they definitely either help me or just support me, as well as my family.
Oh, wow. That's so good to hear. Again, it's building on that whole network. We call this program Chester Masterminds, and the term mastermind has to do with that network of common knowledge and shared knowledge that every business owner needs to build. And so it sounds like you're doing that, just wonderfully. That's wonderfully. That's tell people. And I have this common thing that I say is a birthday cake wishes. We all know when we blow out candles on our birthday cake, and we make a wish, but if you don't tell somebody, the chances of that coming true are kind of slim, right? If nobody knows about it, you just whisper it to somebody else and let them know what your wish is. Well, that's the same thing that happens when you tell your friends your wish about your business and where you want to go with it. Suddenly you begin to build out the network of people who care about what's going on and want to see you prosper as well, and they can really help. And that's why I call them birthday cake wishes, because we can share those things and they come back to us at some point in time. But thanks, that's great. I'm gonna come back to you and ask you about who's come to you, because you're doing good things too. Lamaj, how you doing, sir? Here, let's get the mic over there for you. Awesome, yeah. Good.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, glad to have you. Tell me a little bit about your business and how you got started.
My name's Lamaj. I got started when I was 8 years old, so I've been in the business for 6 years. My grandmom inspired me to start a business.
Mm-hmm.
I used to mow her lawn every day after school. I was so excited to do it. That's how I really got into it. It was something I was passionate about it.
That's great. And who has helped you the most in kind of putting it all together?
My mom, my dad, and my mama.
Uh-huh.
They have helped me with a lot of things, like starting a bank account and stuff
Great.
like that. That is something that I always wanted, a bank account.
Right.
And my grandma, when I was 8, she started me a bank account, and ever since then, it's just been growing.
Oh, wow, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. So how, you say you've been doing it for 6 years now.
Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you started out just basically mowing grass. Have you been adding on services over those years?
Yes, I started doing cleanups and mulch and stuff like that.
Right.
I do a little bit of tree cutting and stump removal, but not as much as I want to. It just you have to have certain equipment to do that type of
Oh, yeah.
stuff, and it's hard to get that equipment.
Right. Well, so you probably have to have a network of contractors that you work with. So call them up and they're going to do some tree work or bring you the equipment or something. Do you have that kind of a?
I do not at the moment. I would like to have it
Mm-hmm.
in the future, or when I get older and I can get a truck and I
Right.
can start driving myself.
But so now you call other. You said you do tree cutting and stump grinding. I mean, stump grinders are not cheap, right? So
They're
I
not.
assume you don't have one.
I do not. I actually do it by shovel. I dig it out.
Oh gosh. You're gonna be powerful when you
Yeah, that and it's,
bless your heart. Well, that's great. I mean, so stump grinding, tree cutting. So that can be a very dangerous job.
It can.
What have you taught yourself about how to do tree cutting?
always have rope because you always need it. That's something that you always need to have. You don't want no accidents. Trees can fall on houses. That's cost a lot of money. Cars, another problem. It's a lot of stuff that can go wrong in a situation of you cutting down a tree. So I've learned from my mistakes. I've never had it
Hopefully,
happen.
I was gonna say,
but-
hopefully not too many.
No. But yeah, I've learned.
Right, and there's classes. I don't know whether they're So I forgot to. So, Caitlin, you're going into 7th grade.
Yeah.
Sabraya, you're going into 8th grade, and
Going
Lamont
into 9th grade.
into 9th grade. So, and you're now at 9th grade. You could be looking at the Career Tech Center. They may, I don't know whether they offer it, but learning some of the tree cutting services, or even if it's not through the Career Tech Center, you may be able to. You're old enough and certainly strong enough if you can dig a stump out of the ground. to go and intern and start working for, say, a tree service
Yes.
and learn all of the safety techniques and equipment and other things that go in with that. But you're definitely tall enough and you're strong enough to do that, and I would say old enough too, that you should be able to do that. Because that's dangerous. I mean, we want to make sure you know all the safety tricks that go into that. But that's awesome. What's the name of your business?
Lamage's Lawn Care.
Lamage's Lawn Care. Oh, awesome. It's great. How do you get the word out? What's your technique for?
My mom has a Facebook page, and she just posts different things about me, and that's how I get most of my clients.
Uh-huh.
And Corey Long helps me with some of my clients too. I cut his yard, and every once in a while he'll post on his Facebook and tell people to call me.
Right. And so are you thinking about getting your own Facebook page? I mean, and you know, just literally called Lamage's Landscaping Service, or?
I'm thinking about it. I had Instagram, but I kind of lost it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna make one.
Good. So you 6 years, gosh, you must be into the. How many customers have you had over? You have any idea how many customers you've had?
I'm not sure the exact number. Probably about 20, 30.
Uh-huh.
Right now, I would like to have more in the future. And now, it's just hard to transport the stuff that I have. Like by car, it's not really the best idea. I need a truck.
Okay.
Now I can start driving next year, so
Right.
I hope to get my own truck.
Well, and so you're obviously saving money to do that, right?
I am.
And almost any truck will do. It doesn't have to be incredibly
Does
powerful.
not at
It just
all.
needs to have a big flatbed, right? So you can get into that kind of cheap, build, and that's how they do it. That's really great. Has anybody come to you and says, "Hey, Lamaj, how did you get doing this?"
Yes, I had a friend come to me and ask me, and I explained it to him and how to do it. He wasn't really, after I told him all the steps he has to take, he was like, I don't know if I want to do that anymore. It's a lot of hard work into it.
It is.
Yeah, like getting your cards and stuff and promoting and stuff like that. It's a lot of work.
Right. So do you all have business cards that you use to when you hand out, when you give it out with I mean, you obviously do, but every one of your products, you have a business card in there that says, "Hey, if you want to, this is how to find me, find more products," right? That's a
Yes.
very simple thing to do for any business. You got to have a business card that people can reach you, and never leave a conversation without making sure that they know how to reach you, and that's an excellent way to build that what's called word of mouth advertising. Even if you're not on Facebook or TikTok or anything, you have those cards, and one of the little tricks that I've used and I've seen done, give them 2 cards.
2 cards.
Give them 2 cards, because you got to give them to someplace else, and you multiply that out. And if they want to take 3 cards, we'll give them 3, but definitely hand them 2 to start off with, and say, "Hey, give this to somebody if you wouldn't mind. Pass it along." And it's a simple little concept and always be saying, "Hey, if you know anybody else that needs my service, anybody else who wants a shirt, who really cares about an issue, sobriety, if you care about an issue, if you tell me what kind of issues, I'll make a T-shirt for you." And Caitlin, the same way. If you know somebody else who needs babysitting services, network. That's what every entrepreneur does. Ma'am, how are you today? So thank you, Lamaj. That's awesome. I love it. Let's see if we can get this thing. So you want to speak real close to the mic? There we go. So tell us your name.
My name is Precious Scott.
Precious, love it. So, and tell us about your business.
So I don't have a business yet, but I want to be a doctor when I grow up.
Ooh, wonderful. And so we're all entrepreneurs of our time. That's one of the things we talk about here. And we get to choose the things that we want to go do with our time. And if you want to be an entrepreneur, you're picking what you're going to go do. And in your case, you're going to be doing a lot of education and other kind of things that go with that. Are you thinking about doing anything before you? I mean, let me ask you the hard question. How old are you and what grade are you in?
I'm in 3rd grade. I'm going to 4th this year, and I'm 9 years old.
Oh, see, so we got just getting going. That's really awesome. So in the meantime, are you thinking of doing anything that gives you some exposure to what it means to be a doctor?
I've been to the hospital a lot,
Okay, that's good. I mean, absolutely, you want to see what they're doing, what kind of buildings they work in, the kind of equipment they work with, and the kind of things that they do. Yeah. What else?
So I know what the doctors are like, and they work a lot.
They do. They put a lot of hours in, a lot more than most people realize that they do. But so, how did you get inspired to be a doctor?
Well, I want to help people out a little bit
Mm-hmm.
when they get sick
Yeah.
and stuff.
Right.
So that's all.
And was there anybody in your family that said, "Hey, this is a really good thing to do. You seem to be very interested." How did you learn about what doctors were in the first time?
Well, I learned what doctors do because I went to a hospital visit
Oh.
for a regular checkup, and it was super fun, but I don't like the shots.
I don't think anybody really likes shots, but you realize that what they do. You could see that looks very interesting. Oh, that's wonderful. Are you So how long have you been thinking about being a doctor?
I thought about it this year,
Just this year?
or
Mhm.
maybe in 2020.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we've been had a lot of downtime in the last year, and the chance to think about our careers and what we're going to go do with it. I know I've even thought about maybe I should try something different, but no, that's great. I'm thrilled. Who else in your family is sort of helping to guide you, to tell you what kind of courses to take in school, and how important different topics are? Is there anybody that you know? It doesn't have to be in your family.
My mom used to be a nurse.
Oh, okay, wow. So does she have some books that you can look at, right?
No, she went back to school for nursing this year.
Oh, okay. So, but you can follow along with her, right? As she's learning things, she can tell you can ask her questions, and she can use you as a way to sort of remind herself all the things that she's learning. That's usually a really good way to remember stuff, is to tell other people. So she can use you as a guinea pig of listening to all the things that she's learning, and that's wonderful. So she's going back to be a nurse now. Is she in the medical field now? While she's in school, or is she's just in school?
She's just in school.
Just in school, okay. Did she do something before that was in the medical field at all?
Yeah, she took care of people that was in the nursing home.
Ah, okay, so she's been an aide, probably a nurse's aide or something like that, so she's had a lot of experience and exposure, and she said, oh, I like this, I want to get smarter at this, and I'm going to go back to school to do that. Well, that's wonderful, that's great. Well, I wish you a lot of luck, that's really good. So,
already called her Dr. Scott.
Dr. Scott, oh, there we go. Well, good luck to you. That's really fabulous. And so work hard. You've got a lot of math and a lot of science to get under your belt as you go through that. And I hope that goes really well, because we just need lots more doctors. I know that the marketplace for doctors, and marketplace, frankly, for all of these careers is really good. There's a need across the board for all of what you all are doing, and it's great to have all, and any business ownership is going to be useful. Our nation, if you don't already know it, most of the jobs that are created in the nation are started by small businesses. And and every one of those small businesses has to have somebody at the very beginning of it and doctors are entrepreneurs too, because most of them run small businesses, that we need to learn the skills of entrepreneurship as we go through our figuring it all out. So y'all are great. You're learning it at a really young age, and so I'm just really thrilled to be able to. I'm in heaven, man. I tell you, George. I don't know how you feel,
I
but
feel the same way. when I was younger, kids really wasn't on this time. We played sports, went outside, whatever. But it's like now, times are faster. Kids are having more exposure to social media now, computers. So they're always learning. But it's just like it's a good, proud feeling to be a part of this movement.
wow,
First of all, these are the faces of Chester.
right.
The young faces. We used to say children are our future, but these are the children of the here and now.
Yeah,
So they making decisions and things like that's going to help themselves go into teenagerhood, not even
Right.
just adulthood. So
Right.
they're learning great experiences, being a part of making a change, just it just gave me the ability to be a part of this. And I'm just like proud to be a part of that stepping stone going into their futures. And I gotta think that parents, they have exceptional, great parents, man. They come from good backgrounds. The parents are waiting out here, and
I can tell they've all got got great parents out, standing there and cheering them on, and that's probably the best thing the parents can do. I think at this age is just cheer, because it's the skill of learning that entrepreneurial mindset that you mentioned earlier.
Right.
Once you have that idea, and it's also tied into something called a growth mindset, which is never to think that there's not a possibility of solving a problem. You've always got an opportunity in front of you, and so I'm thrilled. So we're going to I want to take a real quick break. I want to point out, and I'm going to wave to all the moms out there who are watching these young entrepreneurs do their amazing things. But one of the things that I want to mention real quick while everybody's here is this cmpradio.net is also an entrepreneurial enterprise. Uncle P has been working this for 4 years. I mean, you said you've been in business for 6 years. He's only been doing this for 4 years, but he puts all of his energy into it. A whole bunch of money, bless his heart, but it's all focused on connecting the community together and making it possible for us to do shows like this, to connect together and build that, what I call, again, the mastermind of the community in support of different kinds of business enterprises. And he's, so what's coming up here in August is something called a Raise-a-thon. I just want to make sure people are aware of it. Okay. That is focused not only on raising money for the radio station, but also raising awareness for businesses, your businesses included, about the value of using media stations like CMP, using other resources within the community to promote your business. That's what CMP is doing, and use it. If at some point, if you get a little bit of money and you really want to advertise, CMP Radio has 10,000 listeners. That's a lot of people, and it's hard to get that many listeners on anything. And then during basketball games, so if you're doing a T-shirt for a basketball game or a football game, they'll hit 70,000 people listening to the program here. So if you wanted to put a little bit of an ad here on CMP, you're going to touch a lot of folks who might need landscaping services or might need babysitting services or something like that. That you'll be overwhelmed, but that's okay. It's a good problem to have. And then maybe you start hiring, right? You hire another lawnmower guy or another tree cutter. You work with you as a partner. Expand the number of babysitting service members on and it's a wonderful thing. So advertising does work, and that's what CMP does here as a service as well. So I don't want to make too much of it, but I always want to stop for a second and talk about what you're really sitting in here in the middle of is another entrepreneurial business that's been going on for a good while. So thank you again. Again, I want to come back, Sabriah, and say, like, in your wildest, you said you want to be a business person. What's, other than making shirts and some of the things, is there another business that you see in your future, or are you looking at anything really, really gigantic? You don't have to answer. That's okay. But so you want to be a business person. That's good. Are you looking at going to school? Good. Oh, that's great. That's great. And get a business degree and learn all about it. That's great. Are you doing the same thing, Caitlin? Thinking about what you can do? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, that's good. And landscaping businesses are the same way. Are you thinking about that? So we know you're going to go to medical school. That's going to be something. And of course, you get a science degree or some kind of degree as an undergraduate before then, but then you go off to medical school. But landscapers, they need all that stuff, and it's great to have that forward vision of what it is you'd like to be, out there. So because it's always going to pull you and keep you on the right path to getting the right education, to making the contacts that it takes to do all that. So anything else y'all like to add about? Tell me anything else that I didn't ask you about your business that you'd like to tell me? No? Okay. Kaylin, anything else? What else? What else? You like it?
Yes, I do enjoy babysitting. Yeah.
And what, anything else? So if anybody else was going to start a babysitting service, what would you tell them?
It definitely takes a lot of patience and devotion to kids, and you just need to have the right mindset and materials.
And what kind of mindset is that? How would you describe that?
A positive and energetic one,
Mm-hmm.
because kids take a lot of energy and time.
Right.
I'm sure they do, and they're keeping you busy all the time. And yeah, good for you. And same thing, Maj. What would you tell somebody else if they were starting a landscaping business?
It takes a lot of patience and time, and when you're doing it, it takes you need to be professional about it. You don't want to work. You don't want to show up to someone's house and be rude to them. You want to have respect,
Right.
a lot of respect towards them. You don't want to You don't want to be talking to them in like you would talk to your friends. You would talk to them in a professional way. That's what I would tell someone.
Right. Well, that's a great attitude. I love that customer service mentality of always being responsive to
And dress appropriately.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. You sound like you really got it nailed. I mean, in 6 years you've been doing it a while. You figured this stuff out. That's really great. So and if somebody wanted to be a doctor, what would you tell them?
It takes a lot of time and patience, and you have to train to teach your patients right and stuff.
Right. Yeah. It does take a lot of time. Yeah, and be ready to work hard, right? Because are you working hard in school? Oh, good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it was a tough year, but learning how to learn even in tough environments demonstrates what they call resilience through really tough times, and resilience is a great thing. Grit, I think they call it as well. To be able to stick to it and work through all the stuff that you need to know. So I'm thrilled. Georgia, any other comments?
I always have something to say. Well, number one, like I said, it's been a pleasure being a part of that growth. I actually learned a lot from them. Just being around them, very intelligent. I might add, they get great grades. Like, this was a year of, like you said, resiliency, and they overcame it. This was a tough year. It had made everybody tougher. Like, wherever you were in your life, you were forced to be tough. So
Right.
it was definitely harder on the children.
Oh, that's great.
So just learning from them and learning how, seeing where that growth and seeing the potential right now is just overwhelming.
It's got to be inspiring. I mean, it's inspiring me to just be near them for these few minutes, but you get to be with them, on a weekly basis or something like that, hearing their ideas and hearing the dreams that they want to go after. And it's,
And even with Dr. Scott, I mean, we talking into existence with her old, when she was back in our old workshops. We were already calling her Dr. Scott. So
right.
it's funny, like we could even start a documentary on it right now and just build it up, and then we'll just see it in existence, going to school, actually becoming a doctor. So, like I said, it's just inspiring. Like I said, this was like making a change. This was really about.
It's about making a change. Yeah.
Kids out of that element and pulling out leadership.
Right.
I think that's what it's about. That's how we keep the community going in the right direction. We build great leaders, and I just think we're starting here.
Yep.
Like the phases of Chester, like I said, like the parents went to the high school, born and bred. They out here in the mix, and it's rough out here for kids. I mean,
Sure.
there's violence going on. Like you said, I'm gonna work with Sabriah. I want to come up with a teacher for the summer, like to promote like nonviolence or something else. We want to come up with something else. I also told her to do some t-shirts for animals, but but I don't know. But I mean, just proud of them. Caitlin, like excellent student. Oh man, she could even be a poet or something. Like Caitlin is like, I don't know. And this guy, man, I'm proud of him. Like he's a hard worker. He come from a good background.
Yeah.
You just gotta stay focused. But I mean, other than that, I mean, that's what it's really about. Like I said, kids business.
Right.
I like that title, and we probably gonna run with that. And I might even have them like lead the group,
Well,
or lead the organization, since they're already entrepreneuring and already got the mindset.
And you're already forming, you know, what I would call a mastermind group at a youth entrepreneur stage, where you know, where different, you know, you've got a whole group, you said up to 20-ish, you know, students already, you know, working through the program, but you've got clearly 3, even 4 folks who are thinking way out in front of themselves, way out in front of what it means to be involved in an entrepreneurial effort. So I noticed
Appreciate you for having us on too, John. This is a
gosh,
great
this is exciting for me. I wanted to comment. I noticed that Lakeisha, Lawrence, who is sort of my helper in coming up with topics for the show and questions and things, she mentioned that it's so important to have a career tech center here, easily accessible. One of the things that I'm a former school director, you know, school board member, and one of the things that I got involved in heavily was career tech education. I was on the board of our local career tech school there, and I absolutely fell in love with what they do in providing other kinds of skills. So an academic path, you know, through all the math and science is great for a lot of students, and Dr. Scott knows that. She's going to know that in spades. But in any case, you know, there are many other paths to success. I can tell you, you can absolutely be rocket successful as a landscaper. There is a lot of opportunity to do that. There's a lot of opportunity to be a graphic artist and designer of shirts and clothing and fashion and things that you're working on now. There's a gigantic market for that, and you don't necessarily have to go get a college degree to do that. You can learn a lot of things right here while you're doing it. And then even providing childcare services or other kinds of things, education. I mean, you've got a whole range of things that you can go do. And it doesn't always, I mean, it's helpful sometimes in getting a business degree or getting an education degree, or, you know, or even you can get a degree in being an arborist. You know, you can get a forestry degree or something like that. You can do that, but it's not always required. And I tell people all the time, if it works for you, you know, if it's worth the money, it's going to pay off for what your dream is aligned to, then college is the right thing. But don't feel like it always is, because there's a lot of careers out there that do really great and are a lot of fun, and you get to do your passion. You get to be outside if that's what you want to be. You know, you can do so many things that, you know, college is just one pathway. I mean, I want to make sure people and I've told this everywhere I go since I learned, you know, how career tech works much better. It is a phenomenal avenue, even just to get exposure to some of the things that they do there. Even if that's not your final chosen path, you can learn a lot in that environment. So any other good questions that you all see out there? We get any other good comments?
We definitely had a couple good questions up here. I think Ms. Deneen.
Ms. Deneen.
Question for the young folks. Let me get back. She was up at the top.
We definitely want to hit on that.
Right.
Well, thank you. And Corey's, you know, mentioned out there. I mean, Corey is making a change. Everybody needs to know that Corey does a heck of a job in organizing this thing.
She said she wanted to know if she can ask the students how they go about setting their price so they make a profit.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one. So starting with you, Sabrina, how do you know how to price your stuff?
I usually go off how much it takes to make it. So like the ink that I use on my shirts, it costs like $40. So
And that makes a certain number of shirts, right?
yeah, it doesn't last long. So that goes into the price. And the shirts could go up to like 10 to 5, like depending on what size and stuff and where I buy them, what store. And then I just add like maybe like a small profit for myself. So then I could buy more products.
Right, that's right. And of course you have to count in the time that it takes, right? Your own time, even if it's at minimum wage, which I'd like it to be $15 an hour. Right now it's just, what, 7 1/4 or something like that. But even your time is worth money, and you want to be thinking about that. And hopefully your mom is helping you to calculate all the different pieces, because it may only take you 5-10 minutes to make a shirt, but you know that means you're only doing 6 shirts. If you take $15 and you divide it into 6, and you figure out, okay, I need to add $2 a shirt. for on top of what all my other costs are, because that's my time in there, and then you put profit on top of that, and that gives you a reasonable, amount for what the profit should be. And then of course everybody knows this. What's my competition doing, right? If my competition's offering shirts for $1 less, do I want to do there, or do I think I've got a better shirt, and thus I can justify a higher price? These are things that you can think about. And so, Caitlin, how did you come up with a price per hour? I assume it's per hour of babysitting, right?
It usually depends on how many kids I'm babysitting and how long. Yeah, that is the main source of it. I don't charge too much because I do enjoy it, and I'm not going to charge people a whole bunch of money for something I enjoy doing. So yeah, depending on how many kids I'm babysitting and how long.
Right. Well, that's good. So, and did you have to do any research to figure out, well, how much should I be charging?
Yes, I researched like the minimum amount of money that you can charge for babysitting a kid or multiple kids. So it was like around like $20. I'm not sure how much I really do want to charge because like I said, I do enjoy babysitting, and I don't want to charge a lot of money for something I enjoy. So it'll probably be around 20.
Okay. All right, that's great. That's good. And you'll find out whether or not it's something you want to continue doing, or just get paid for it. That's great. Yeah.
But what did you want to do when you
To either run my own daycare or become a physical therapist.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was asking before. Oh, great. Good. Yeah. See, you've got that point in your future to look at. It's like I can do an awful lot, and I can almost bet you that if you're thinking about that now, and you're leading your education and the things that you think about and do, you're gonna go way beyond that, because you're setting yourself up to move, and you're gonna find out, oh, I did all these things. I actually can go be a lot more than that. Even if it's related to kids or something like that, you could go be like Dr. Scott, a pediatrician. And you see how much you can go rock the world with that. So there's no top end here at all for anybody. And how did you decide on your prices?
I decided on my prices by the size of the yard. If it's a big yard, I'm gonna go up to $50 to $60. If it's a medium-sized yard, I'll probably charge like $30. I don't go any lower than $20 because I gotta work and I gotta get gas for my supplies and stuff like that. And it's a lot of time that it takes.
Yeah.
It's precision in each yard.
Right.
That's how I come up with my prices.
Good. So no matter what size yard, you got to get there, you got to get back. There's time involved in that. You got to move equipment.
Yep.
There's somebody paying gas to get you there, or whatever help you need to do that. And that sets sort of a minimum. Like no matter whether I come out and do a big yard, little yard, it's going to be at least this. And so, did you do any homework on deciding what that?
Yeah, I watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to estimate yards.
Oh.
Yeah, that's how I get pretty much all my prices.
I'm thrilled. That's an excellent way. It's an excellent way to get information. Go Google it. YouTube is full of lessons on all kinds of things. I know that, and I'm thrilled to hear that you guys are using that. So keep that up. So that's good for others to know too, because if they're no matter what career they're or what job or entrepreneurial, Google it. Find out what's going on. Go to YouTube. Go wherever there's these online courses for like $11 or something, like on Udemy or something. If you need to know some specific skill, you can pick that up pretty darn quick. If anybody's seen the movie The Matrix, they used to plug people in and say, "Oh, now I can do jujitsu," and I'm like, that's kind of the way it works, though. We can go and incrementally add skills, and when we need them, like how to run a business or how to balance a checkbook, or these are skills that can be picked up incrementally through YouTube or anything else, and so that's great. And so I'm about out of it. I think this is great. P, any other questions we missed?
No, I definitely. I think a lot of the viewers have been giving a huge shout out to the parents.
Right. Oh yeah.
Right, as well
Absolutely.
as the children. Right, and I think Lakeisha has said somewhere in there that we need our trade school back.
Yeah.
We need to be teaching children
talked
how
about that,
to
yeah.
how to think on their own.
Yes.
Right? Whether it's college, whether it's a trade school, right? But find out where that beauty lies inside of yourself.
Absolutely.
I wish we had a radio station when I was coming up, right? Because I would have been all up in there, right, running around. So I definitely commend all of you, children, right? Children, right, are the key, right?
Absolutely.
But you're finding a passion, something that gives you strength and energy, and you're pushing on it. So I'm commending everybody out there, right? Keep on babysitting, keep on making shirts, keep on cutting grass, keep on dreaming about being a doctor, right? Because without your dreams, you're not really alive at all. So, I commend y'all, and I thank y'all parents, right, for giving y'all life.
Great words.
Absolutely.
From somebody who knows what it means to be an entrepreneur and to have a dream. So thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. I've forgotten who my next guest is next week, but we got another one, and we'll be back next week with another great episode. And thank you again, P, for all you do and for being there and helping us out, and showing off these awesome future entrepreneurs and future business leaders of our community. And thank you to the parents, and thank you to the community to support what's going on here. This is so powerful. Thank you to Corey. Thank you to Make a Change. Thank you to George and Serena, who wasn't here, but she was helping out a lot as well. Thank you all. It's wonderful. I get such energy to see this. So have a great evening, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.